Mikey and Rinne stay in. Oh, yeah.
Hi, guys. Welcome to Mikey and Rinne Stay In. I'm Mikey.
And I'm Rinne.
We get to drink today.
What?
It's episode 21. Happy 21st, baby!
Wow, I see where you were going. I was not coming with you.
Oh, you were not.
Here I am.
I just decided it was a last minute train leaving the station situation. It's like, 21? What's 21? Oh, man!
Yeah, pretty good.
Midori Sours.
Ooh, that is what you used to drink, huh?
I feel like that was the drink that I was like, that's what people drink. Because I saw it in a movie or something. I was like, Midori Sour, which is like the hyper green, looks like toxic. It is toxic. Like green melon? It's like a melon liqueur.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing?
I am doing pretty well.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm coming to the end of a busy day.
Yeah.
And I'm a little tired.
Totally.
But I'm good. I'm just, we talked last week that we went and saw infertility specialists.
Yes.
We're kind of in baby making world. I think we've been just doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Doing our damnedest.
That's right.
Practicing hard. And it's been I don't know, we got changing of the seasons happening right now. It feels like I must say this time of the year, the fall feels like a very family time.
Yeah.
And neither of us are really around our families.
Mm-hmm.
We just watched a video 700 times maybe?
At least. At the very least.
Of our nephew saying his first word, besides mama and dada.
Which was... shoes.
So he said shoe. Well, he's supposed to try to say shoe, but he said shoes.
He did the double S. He's
He pluralizes.
such an achiever.
He's a genius. MacArthur Genius Award happens at 18 months, right? They give it to them?
Sure,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So
Yeah.
he's
Grayling
on
Byra.
track.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so and then I just always it's Halloween and it's all the things and it's I don't know. So I must say I've been feeling all right, ready to have a baby.
Yeah.
Let's just do that.
Yeah.
And I hope you're pregnant. I hope that we can do that.
Yeah,
I have this weird energetic feeling that I think you're pregnant.
Really?
I do.
What do you think that is?
I'm psychic.
Daddy intuition.
It's my guiding intuition.
No, I said daddy intuition.
Oh, daddy intuition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I just feel like it feels like you might be. The last time you got pregnant, we were in Hawaii, and we were in super chillin' beach mode, whatever.
Totally.
And this last round of when you were ovulating, we just I don't know, we went on this really nice staycation sort of thing, and we just kind of kept it really mellow.
Yeah,
And
I think really intentionally
yeah.
tried to mellow ourselves, which is no small feat.
Totally.
For the two of us.
And it just felt, I don't know, it felt like it worked.
All right.
Not a doctor.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like your positivity.
Me too.
So, this month is, you sort of talked about this month feeling like you want to be around family and it's a change of seasons. It's also Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month.
Which I was not aware of at all.
Right.
Yeah.
It was actually Crystal who, I think it was an Instagram post that Crystal did. So we interviewed this really incredible woman, Crystal. It's actually 2 episodes. So if you haven't listened, maybe pause this one and go, just binge it. Just do.
Great interview.
The 2 of hers and then this one. But she.
Or listen to all 20.
Yeah.
And then this one.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But she does, she works with a fair amount of sort of pregnancy loss within her work.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that today, October 15th, when we're recording, is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day. So within that month. And so for those of you listening with your eyes, Mikey and I have a candle lit, and we have a little paper crane that one of my friends, Ashley, gave me after the miscarriage, just as a little token. And I just think it's so special. And so the show may be a little different today, maybe.
Yeah.
Just because I think
we'll kind of stick to that theme.
Yeah, I think we're really going to focus on that today. We really want to make this a platform for, women to be able to share experiences in their reproductive health lives. And for a lot of women, that means pregnancy loss and also infant loss. And so, we want to give a nod to that today and just create some space. And we don't often do thematic episodes, but this is one of them.
I know, we should. Yeah, and I think it's when you were, so we talked about, just briefly about the fact that this month is what it is.
Yeah.
And it was President Reagan.
Yeah, President Reagan was the one that instituted it in 1988.
And do you know what, did Nancy have?
I don't know. I don't know the backstory to it. I haven't done any research on that, but what a compassionate thing to institute. Not that he wasn't a compassionate person, but it was just it's an interesting president, I think, to have.
Well, again, you put him against the current president or the current field of Republicans.
Like Gandhi.
Yeah, he's a liberal. I know, and this is the thing, is that, miscarriage and the loss of a baby and troubles with pregnancy knows no party, knows no race.
Yeah,
it's across the board. It's across the world. And it's, I just think that over and over again, I'm reminded by the fact that it's so common that everybody knows someone who's had a miscarriage, or everybody knows someone who has had a miscarriage and they don't know that they had a miscarriage, or they didn't tell anyone they had a miscarriage.
I think that's the bigger piece, too, is that even if you don't think you do, you probably do.
Yeah. And there's also a lot of pregnancies that go or miscarriages that go unreported because someone didn't know they were pregnant, thought it was a heavy period, whatever it might be. But I just think, if nothing else comes from this show, just at least the scope of people that listen to the show, to make it understood that this is an okay thing to talk about. And obviously I'm a man, speaking from a male perspective, I don't truly know the personal and physical trauma that goes along with having a miscarriage, but men, I can speak for us, this is something that we should be talking about, and talking about the fact that it's painful, and talking about the fact that, that it's something that we've gone through as well, and that it's sad, and also that it's an okay thing for women to talk about, and that it's not a failure, and that it's common, and it's something that we all should be supporting each other more on. And I think that there's a lot of stigma around it. There's also just, it's scary and it's sad, and these are things that I think a lot of people just don't like to talk about. And so I hope that our show kind of opens up the conversation, and it already has. We've already talked with people that I don't think we would have otherwise about it.
Yeah. Well, and last week we had the amazing, incredible, fantastic Sasha, and she shared her experience with miscarriage. And I think that that's another important piece, is that there's no right way to have a miscarriage, right?
Yeah.
That for some people, the loss is so deep and so traumatic. And then for other people, it might be, frankly, a relief.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
And so I think that to really honor the spectrum of emotion that comes with a loss like that is really important to note and to highlight. And if somebody does share with you that they have a miscarriage, to really just be able to hold space for whatever their experience of that miscarriage is.
Yeah,
right?
Totally. No, that's wonderful. Well, babe, you had some food in front of us, which I don't really know. I mean, I know what it is generally, but I don't know what it is specifically. Why don't you tell us?
Well, first of all, it's a really poorly cut squash.
It is.
It looks like a fucking Matisse painting or something.
It's something, or Picasso, perhaps.
Or Picasso,
Yeah,
there it is.
A lot of shapes.
Yeah. So, I definitely butchered the cutting. But this is a kabocha squash, which I very simply just roasted, and before I did, I kind of dusted it with some ghee and soy sauce and a little maple syrup.
Nice.
And tons of ginger, because this time of year, as it starts to get a little chilly, I just want all these kind of warming spices.
Yummy.
And then I made a little dipper, which is just like yogurt, a little bit of mayo, and some, I can't remember what I put in there, something with chili
Spicy.
in it.
Yeah. Oh, maybe
Samba Olek, maybe.
Samba Olek.
Yeah. And so I like kabocha squash because it sort of almost takes on like a French fry kind of texture.
Yeah, sure, totally.
It's it's very pumpkin-y and it's got that yummy taste, but it's also super starchy.
Yeah.
And so for our eat your feelings snack, I was like, God, I really just want like French fries.
Yeah.
But I thought, let's do something that's maybe even more nourishing for the soul. And squash is definitely one of those things, especially as we get into fall. But how can we kind of make it like a little French fry imposter?
Sure.
Give it a fatty dipper and roast it within an inch of its life.
Yeah. Well, then the like beta carotene content is so high in kabocha specifically. I mean, it's so orange and it's so dense. It's just one of the richest squashes. I feel like, I don't know, I really love it.
It's so good. It's really good as a soup.
Yeah. Tell me why this is good for our bodies and potentially our baby making bodies.
Well, as we transition into fall, we may have talked a little bit about this on the show, but I'm really thinking about supporting my lungs. And also in Chinese medicine, supporting my spleen, which doesn't have a direct correlation to the Western medicine spleen. It's more like the maybe pancreas in Western medicine. But it's sort of the thing that is really responsible for a lot of our digestion. And so supporting the lungs, because we really want to make sure that we're, fending off cold and flu invasions.
Yeah.
And then also the spleen, because that's the thing that really helps us stay not phlegmy.
Nice.
And so squash is something that is super, super nourishing and supportive to the spleen. And then also using some of those more warming spices is really good. Spicy is the flavor that's associated with the lungs. So you can support the lungs through eating particularly white and spicy foods.
White?
So, yep. So like
horseradish?
A horseradish is good, like a rutabaga, turnip.
Yeah, okay, so a lot of the mustard family stuff.
Onions,
Is
stuff
it
like
mustard
that.
family?
That's a good question.
I think they're related to each other. I think anyways, maybe not.
And yeah, so I think especially today as we're really thinking about like tucking in and remembering our loss.
Yeah.
I thought that it might be nice to just have a food that's really rich and nourishing too.
That's really sweet. I love that.
Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna kind of keep things relatively thematic today. So yeah, we always do a pro tip. So I'm a chef, and after Corinne had the miscarriage and we had this shitty overnight in the hospital. I can't remember which one in particular, but definitely the first night that we were there. But all we wanted to do when we heard and knew that the baby wasn't viable and that we were going to be coming home, and
which was after an ultrasound. So
after an ultrasound.
Yeah, we ended up in like ghost town ultrasound floor, imaging floor.
Yep. And, it was the middle of the night.
Yeah, and the tech couldn't find a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So that's when we knew officially. Mm-hmm.
Which is, and I think fairly common story.
Sure. Yeah.
But and he didn't tell us, but it was we knew energetically what was happening.
Yeah.
And so we left, and both of us were like, "Fuck, well, let's go eat some waffles."
Yes.
And then pizza, and then I think something else. I don't even remember. But we had like an all-day eating experience.
Yes.
And I think it was rainy.
It was
kind of a gross day. Yeah. So it just felt like it all made sense, right?
Yeah.
So, but one of the things I was thinking about is, in order to support yourself or other people who maybe gone through a recent loss or going through a hard time, and this can be baby related or not, but I think since it's our the theme of today, I think we'll talk about it in relation to that. But I think nourishing food great food, something delicious that people can really, have and not have to think too much about. So one of my things that I love to do is make foods that can then be repurposed into the next meal very easily. So I call it longitudinal leftovers.
That's great.
And so one of the things that I think is a really awesome thing to do for someone is roast them a chicken. So roast them a chicken, crispy skin, yummy, yum, yum. Give them the chicken. So first day they can eat the skin off the chicken because it's crispy and doesn't keep well past that. So eat the skin off the chicken, then eat some chicken. It'll be delicious, right? Then what might be really nice is give them some broth and maybe some noodles, maybe some vegetables. So then second day they can make like ramen with it and put pieces of the chicken or chicken noodle soup, whichever direction they want to head with it. Then they can also make that into chicken salad sandwiches. And just to head on down, like through a week of like eating this chicken, because it's like we can hammer a chicken in the night basically because we're hungry.
Hashtag.
And we don't have self-control. But I love the idea of like give someone, depending on how many people are in their house, a chicken or 2 chickens or something like that. And I know, it's, get something that you can afford, whatever. You don't have to go crazy with it. And then think about maybe giving them a nice broth, some nice noodles that they can throw in with it. And then, maybe some breads they can make chicken salad sandwiches. And just think about like, how can I help this person through maybe 3 or 4 meals?
That's a really good idea. And I think also, I was just going to add to that, that don't ask. Don't ask like, what can I do for you? What do you need?
I know, I agree with that.
Just leave it on their doorstep. You know what I mean? Like, don't make it about you. It doesn't have to be, oh, I want to bring you dinner and we'll chat and what. People might not want that. They might invite you in.
Totally.
Maybe. But I would say just, before you go, put some ice packs in a cooler and just leave it on their doorstep.
Yeah.
And I think that can be so powerful.
Totally. Or just leave it on their door. Leave the chickens out on their doorstep uncovered. Oh. And then just see how many squirrels can be on top of it, so that it can be loss on top of loss. Just they can come out and their chicken carcasses are being ravaged by the neighborhood squirrels.
And then they make squirrel soup.
Squirrel soup, big in the South potentially.
Sure.
Yeah, I think New Orleans, they eat squirrels.
Yeah, I've definitely heard it.
Definitely, me too. And it's
I'm shocked that you have never eaten it, actually.
I'm amazed that I haven't, and anybody who wants to come to my house and serve me squirrel or invite me to your home and I'll eat squirrel, I'll be there in a second.
Yeah.
I'll be there in a
I wonder what it tastes like.
Delicious, I bet.
Yeah?
Yeah, a little stringy, probably, but I don't know.
That's
not the word that I want.
It's probably like
Describe my meal.
probably like rabbit.
Yeah. Okay.
Which if you cook it right, it'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No judgment. Eat whatever you want.
Truly.
True. And I just think in this scenario, like when we after the miscarriage, I just was like. It was like a not get out of jail free card, but a free pass to do whatever the fuck we wanted. We watched garbage television for days, and then like we, I don't know about days,
no,
but
it
at
was
least a day.
A
day. It was a great day though. Then we just got back to business.
Well, and I think
eat whatever you want to do what you want.
That is, that speaks to something larger, right? That we're not allowed to slow down, right? And so, you have to get back to work. A lot of people have children that they have to take care of.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So that's another thought. Like, just offer, can I take your kiddo or kiddos so that
totally.
You can have some time, whatever time you need.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, looking back, I wish that I had taken more time, maybe canceled some patients, and because it was really particularly tricky to go back to work and see the little babes that I was working with.
Yeah.
And so, I was really thinking about, because with this season change, I'm always, and I've said it a million times on the show, like, how can I support myself through this seasonal transition? And, we talked a little bit about supporting your lungs, supporting your kind of Chinese medicine spleen. And I think a really big thing that perhaps gets missed is to the lungs in Chinese medicine are related to, so each organ system is related to different emotions. And the lungs in particular, as you can probably deduce, are related to sadness and or grief.
And why would you say that? I mean, I think I know why, but why would you say that you could deduce that?
Well, I think because if you've ever grieved, maybe not everybody, but I think, you know, I've watched a fair amount of people break down and cry and feel really sad. And we have, you know, we have language for it even. There's heaving sobs and, you know, people are out of breath crying. And the sadness and grief really does hit the lungs, right? Because oftentimes when you're sad, you cry and you get really mucusy and stuffy, and it makes it really difficult to breathe. I think that when we're affected by sadness, we can oftentimes feel it like in our chest, maybe in our heart, but also there's a big organ system there, the lungs. And during this transition into fall, as it sort of, you know, things have been pretty dry, and it's cold and flu season, and so we do want to like support the lungs anyway. And this is more of a kind of energetic support of the lungs, to really maybe face some sadness or some grief that you haven't yet. And this, for us, this is a particularly unique month in that this is the month that we were gonna have a baby. And so it's just freaking serendipitous that we're recording this on, you know, Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day within the Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. And so I've been feeling a little bit of a bubbling up of some sadness and some grief, and I've been giving myself just a little grace and space to maybe I'm gonna have a little public tear now and again, and that I think Mikey can attest to is certainly not or hasn't in the past been my style. But I'm really allowing for that, and not to like shove it in people's faces or make people uncomfortable, but just to kind of honor where I'm at. And the last piece is that in Chinese medicine, the emotions are very directly related to our physical health. So the Chinese, I mean, we're just now in the West recognizing that the body is holistic, that if you're deeply sad for years and years, your physical health will probably suffer. And so they knew this thousands of years ago. And one of the things that can happen with sort of depressed feelings that don't get released is it can cause physical illness. And so, I think, you know, particularly for our listeners, if they have experienced a loss, to maybe just check in, because sometimes there's some little corners with some little cobwebs that could maybe be dusted off a bit. And whatever that means for you, that might mean something really private, like a journal, or talking to your best friend, or just lighting a candle.
Or it might mean going to dance at a semi-nude club.
Fuck yes.
Get your groove on. Drink 10 martinis.
Definitely.
Yeah. Go jet skiing. Whatever you might need.
Wow.
I don't know.
I kind of wish that was the way I coped with grief.
Yeah. Jet skiing.
Mike, going jet skiing.
Yeah, but I think my kind of key to it all is there's no prescription. Like, right? There's
Absolutely.
There's no thing that works for everybody. Like, I know that I need to like go and get out on the mountain bike, or you know, go swimming, or go out for like, you know, beers with friends, and just be able to be like, you know, and just kind of drain a lot of it, or just eat. I love it. Sure. Eat, hang out with you.
Eat your motherfucking feelings.
Eat your motherfucking feelings. Yeah, and I just think do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Because it's hard as shit. And it's, there, I can't remember who said it, but there was, it was from a moth story or whatever, but like, there is no harder, there's just hard. And I think when it comes to pregnancy, miscarriage, all the different stories, there's a lot of people that try to story top and try to out pain you. And I don't think it matters what you've been through comparatively to someone else. It's just, if it's hard for you, then it's hard. And I think it's just really letting yourself be in that feeling, whatever it is. If it's happy, if it's sad, if it's any of the things. I mean, if it's just grief, you have to go through it or it'll manifest itself in some other way. And I just think, to just really let yourself be there.
Yeah, and we're at a particular time now where there's, I think, just a more of an awareness that these things, we can speak particularly to miscarriage, but that miscarriage happens to a lot of women, and that it also happens to men, or it happens to the woman's partner, whoever that is, and that, I don't know, there's just more of a consciousness around that, and I think a little more of an allowance for people to tell their stories around it. And I saw that in like a huge and really powerful way. One of my friends, hey Jamie, she sent me this New York Times op-ed, which the entire op-ed was dedicated to miscarriage and women's stories from all over the country. And it wasn't just women, it was women's partners, it was sometimes same-sex partners, sometimes it was husbands, sometimes it was women that had a miscarriage in the 60s, sometimes it was women that had a miscarriage 2 weeks ago. And they did this whole really beautiful story.
I know, I don't even know what you would call it.
I don't know what to call it either.
Yeah, and was it on so we saw it on our phones.
Yeah.
And it was this beautiful, almost like an art installation or something.
Totally like that.
Yeah,
totally
like so
that.
with the videos of women speaking these quotations that they had, and there are quotes that they had, and then like little blurbs of like facts or something or statements, and then it went into an article.
Yes.
But it was just so powerfully done. I mean, beautiful.
Really, really beautiful. Yeah.
I
so
wonder
it was
what it
all.
looks like. Did they do
wasn't
it in the paper?
No, it wasn't print.
So it was just online.
Because they did so many videos, and there's a bunch of photography too. So it's Lauren Kelly and Alexandra March that wrote this op-ed, and then I don't know who did the photographs, but we'll link it because it is so timely, and just so respectful, and also I think Mikey's right that it does feel like an art installation.
Yeah.
It feels like something very beautiful.
We'll put it up on our Instagram feed and our Facebook feed too, because I think maybe that'll be our post for today.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just, and again, there's part of me that's like, if it's a third of pregnancies that end in miscarriage, like.
They're saying 15%.
Oh, they're saying 15%. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, the numbers are
what
kind of
the
all
number
over the
is.
place.
Yeah.
And I think maybe 30% was including perhaps unreported. Anyways, but even if it's 15%, that's a sixth, basically, of pregnancies.
Right.
That's a lot. And
Right.
it's just, there's articles about Mitch McConnell's fucking chin flap every 2 seconds or whatever, and we know all of the... I don't know. I'm just like, there's articles about... I'm sorry, there's a whole sports section of the fucking newspaper to talk about grown men running into each other and causing brain injury for points. So I'm sorry, but like...
Sorry, football fans.
Yes, sorry, football fans. But like, this is something we should be talking about more often. It's just...
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just like, it's the biggest secret hidden in plain sight.
Right.
That this grief and sorrow that I think a lot of people have gone through. And when I talk about this, and I think you as well, we're talking about miscarriage, we're talking about stillborn, we're talking about infertility. These are all, in my opinion, in the same category. I mean, it's all struggles of women's health, surrounding making babies, and women's health issues in general don't get any sort of time.
Yeah,
They just,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
People just don't want to hear it.
That's
and
right.
I just think that what are we if we don't have women? Like we just
we're not.
We don't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have mothers on some
We
level.
aren't.
Yeah. And so it's like, what more important thing could we be talking about? And I work in food, and I work in right now I'm working for company Milk Run, where we're supplying food from local farms. And I look at the earth and local farms and farmers and all these things. This is just birth on another plane. This is just motherhood on another plane. And I just think that, I don't know, we as a culture, as an earth, need to start really recognizing who nurses us, who nurtures us, who births us, and understanding that we only have one planet. We only, at this point, have one way to get babies into the world.
Right.
And
yeah, she's called Mother Earth
for a reason. So
yeah, this article will for sure link to it. It's just, I don't know, it's so sacred, it's so beautiful. Maybe I'll just read a couple of the little quotes from it, just as a little nod to what today is.
I love that.
Maybe a couple that just really struck me. So this woman is called Cindy Harkin, and she said, miscarrying at 9 weeks, I didn't feel entitled to the absolute devastation I felt. I was not able to attempt getting pregnant again. I didn't have the fortitude to risk that horrific pain a second time. I like this Carol D. woman. She seems a little sassy. I'm going to read this one next. If it were men who went through this horrible emotional trauma, would insurance not cover them going to the hospital? Perhaps to a special ward where their hands would be held, their discomfort alleviated, their grief recognized and listened to. It's a good fucking point, Carol.
Great point.
I wish I had prepared myself for how hard it would be to continue talking with my wife about her own pregnancy attempts immediately after I lost my pregnancy. So this is Sarah Hack, same-sex couple. I mean, to think about that.
Yeah, totally.
As the husband of a woman who miscarried, I wish there was more information for people like me to support my child's mother. Let's find one more.
Yeah.
Emma De Jesus, she also has a short video in here. This one is just like so raw and vivid, but she said, I felt like my body was a walking tomb. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that all of those that I read are, really painful experiences, and this article does also talk about, that it is a spectrum, that there are times when women have a miscarriage and it feels like I didn't want this pregnancy, and this is sort of a welcome occurrence. And so I think to really honor that too is important. Because definitely we as women, there's, from the time we're little tiny tykes, we're told that we have to be a certain way. And I think that miscarriage, especially, I don't know, for me anyway, it really, it just showed me that I'm maybe not the way that I should be. But that it's important to explore all of those, dark corners, and also to discover that you've got some fucking fortitude, and that you can get through some really painful shit.
Gosh, I know we've talked about it a little bit before, but that's one of the things that's kind of shown through for me in this whole scenario the most, is just like, what a fucking fierce warrior princess you are. Feels warrior.
What was her name? Xena?
I don't know, something. Yeah, no, it was Xena. That's wonderful. That was really beautiful. And that article is really, I want to sit down and spend some time with it.
It is just, it's like, I don't know, sacred is like the word that I keep coming back to.
I love that.
Really feels so honoring and just so potent.
Yeah.
So I really do hope that you guys will check the episode notes and and read this and
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love you.
I really love you too.
Yeah. Let's go out and eat some pizza.
Ooh. Is that a thing?
Yeah. That's it. You guys, thanks for tuning in.
We are thinking of you.
Yeah,
we
we're thinking
love
of you.
you. Even if you haven't experienced a
Yeah.
loss, we are here with you.
Totally.
Hashtag
And just
solidarity.
hashtag solidarity. And just think about, just have it in your mind, even if it's for just the time that you're listening to the show, that like this is something that a lot of people are going through, and and just think about them and give them a little bit of your heart and your brain, and just understand that it's there's this is a hard time of the year, and I'm really glad that this is a time that people are looking out for one another.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ronnie Reagan.
Yeah.
I guess.
Amen.
Yeah. We will see you again next week. I don't know if we're having an interview next week.
I think the following week.
Oh yeah,
will
yeah.
be
Because
our
we're gonna
interview.
we're kind of in and out of town for a little bit. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week for episode 22.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yep.
Please write to us. We really, really want to hear from you. This is what makes the show, I think, so special.
Agreed.
Let's eat at mikeyandrinnestayin.com is
Totally.
how you can email us.
Yeah, and you can also reach out to us. You can direct message us through Insta,
Please.
or Twitter, or
At Mikey and Rinne Stay In.
Yeah, get all up in those DMs. Okay, guys.
Okay.
I'm Mikey.
I'm Rinne.
Tonight,
Tonight.
we'll go out and eat pizza, and then we're gonna stay in. Great.